Like we're putting ourselves out there. Like we could get canceled. That's a thing.
What are they going to do? Call your work and say, "Hey, this guy said mean things on the internet," and get you
Yes,
fired?
yes, yes. They will. That's the point of being canceled.
You don't have to worry about that if you work for yourself.
Okay, so all right, my rings of power.
Okay, rings of power. First things
I've
first.
been okay. Let's just get this out.
Go ahead.
That's that. Joseph Mawale. Is that how you pronounce it? Mawle. Wall.
I think so. I don't know.
That's Gandalf, right?
The long-haired older gentleman.
Yeah, yeah. Hangs out with the not hobbits, but halfwits or
Hardfoots, or whatever.
Harfoot. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I'm almost positive that's
Okay.
Gandalf. I'm like actually 99.9% sure.
Okay.
Have you watched all of it?
Yes, yes.
You've watched all of it. Yeah, that's Gandalf.
Yeah. Okay, so he's I knew he was Gandalf. Okay.
Yeah.
Whole entire time, I knew he was Gandalf, and like the one scene that really was like, oh yeah, he's Gandalf, was when he like healed the tree.
Yeah. I've read.
I was like, oh, that's Gandalf. And then the
off topic, real quick. Now, try to.
yeah,
I've heard that
yeah.
that tree that he healed in that area that bloomed will be the Shire.
Oh, how about that?
Off topic.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I mean,
that'd be cool.
It might not be, but I've heard that.
Yeah. Okay, so when he healed the tree, I'm like, okay, Sauron would not have that type of power, at least in my mind. And two, I don't follow the books like at all. I've never even I started The Hobbit.
Well,
but,
you're good because Amazon's not following the books either.
but typically Gandalf, like I think there's a quote from him from one of the movies. I think it was the second or third Hobbit. He was like, I often find there's power in the small things or something. You can correct me on this.
No. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And yeah, so when he's hanging out with the Harfoots, or is it Hardfoots, or
I think it's Hardfoots, but for some reason they have an Irish accent. So
yeah,
Hardfoots. Nori.
But when he's hanging out with them, I'm like, oh, okay, this is obviously a parallel to the future. Okay, and then when the three demonic white wizard fucks come around and they're like, oh, we're gonna levitate you and like throw you against a brick wall, and they're like, you're Sauron. I'm like, ah, shit. I'm like, man, they really. I was like, I thought that was Gandalf, and then it like
I didn't
flipped the script.
I didn't believe it. That was the first. It was a misdirect because I mean I was dead certain. Even when they said that, I'm like, no, no, that's Gandalf.
But that guy, the guy that plays Gandalf, possibly, his name is Joseph Wall. He's also in Game of Thrones. I can't figure out who he plays in Game of Thrones.
He might have been some side character. I don't know what he would play in Game of Thrones. I don't recall.
But yeah, see if you can look it up. See if you can find out what he was in. It's like
how do you spell his
like
last
maybe
name?
If you it is Mawle. He also played Christ in The Passion. What other movies was he in? Oh, he's in Troy. He does a lot of I was gonna say like Renaissance.
Oh, he was Benjen Stark, John's uncle.
Oh,
he was John, he was up north. Yeah, Benjen Stark. Except you just can't really tell because they made him look very white and pale in Game of Thrones. Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
I didn't realize he was Benjamin Stark.
See, okay, so I don't like there's like kind of like three storylines going on right now
Mm-hmm.
in a sense. We got Gandalf, and then we got Elrond. Is it
Yep.
Elrond?
Yep.
And then we got Galadriel,
Galadriel. Yep.
right? Okay.
Yep.
I I literally cared so little about Galadriel that I just skipped through it. Like I fast forward so that I can watch
Yeah. Well,
Elrond and Orin.
I want to hear what you have to say because I'm gonna light this show up as soon as you're done.
Okay. So lastly, so like show needs work. It was just so dry for me with Galadriel. I felt like she could have had so much more than what she did. But the one thing I do like with her is when she's sparring with some of the um, like trainees. And I love this is why I love Lord of the Rings, because any other movie, it's like or show like Game of Thrones, it's like they want to like slice somebody's head in half, and you have the shock factor.
Mm.
Michael Bay with the explosions and fast cars, but it's like Lord of the Rings kind of has fun with battles, and like you have like a lot of people give this a lot of criticism, but do you remember the barrel fight scene from The Hobbit?
Yes, that shit was so dumb.
Uh, okay, I like that. I like it. I
Oh
think
yeah,
it's fun.
it's a
I think
silly
it's
fun.
fun.
It's a silly fun
Yes,
addition. But when I see things like that, they're exactly as you described, silly and fun. But
yes,
sometimes
yes,
there's so much in that direction, it takes me out of the movie.
yes, yes. It needs to be like it was in the show. I thought they did very good with this show, where it
Mm-hmm.
was just enough to like keep you on edge and to add a little fun and silliness, but not so much that you're doing it for like, you know, 10 minutes and you're like, okay, when the hell is this going to be over? This is
Mm-hmm.
stupid. The dwarf in the barrel that was spinning with his blades was a little much for me
Yeah.
from The Hobbit, but the premise of it. But other than that, I loved Elrond's with it was Durin.
Durin. Durin.
I love that. I love their relationship. I think that's awesome. Finding the Mithril
Yeah.
was really cool to me, and kind of adding that layer of lore.
I
Um,
like the aspect that the Ring of Power, Sauron's Ring of Power, is made of
yeah,
mithril.
yes, yes,
How do you pronounce?
and
Is it mithril or mithril?
I think either way goes.
Okay.
To be honest, it seems like the elves were saying Mithril and the dwarves were saying Mithril. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it's more of the pronunciation of it. Um, and I loved following Orin, like, and I have a heart for anything magic, so
Mm-hmm.
that's just cool to me. But yeah, I really hope they do better with Gladriel.
Yep. I agree.
But anyway, I'll let you take the stage here. So
I have not. Okay. I. So this is kind of like a little understanding. I have not read the Silmarillion. Um,
mhm.
I've read all three of the Lord of the Rings, including the Hobbit. Well, the Hobbit I did on audiobook. Um,
I, I tried. I couldn't.
um, uh, I I really did like the show. I have some legitimate criticisms of it because I want them to succeed. The truth is, I want them to succeed because I love Lord of the Rings. I want them to keep going. I want this show to be great.
Mhm.
Um, Galadriel is the worst part of the show. 100%. If you, and this, I thought this in like the fifth episode. If you were to take a sword out of her hand and put a gun in it, she would be John Wick. You have John Wick in your show. She's just the perfect killer. I mean, she's a Mary Sue and a Karen all at the same time. She's the worst written character in the whole show. Everybody else is great. I really do enjoy everybody
Yeah.
else. How they like to.
I lost focus and had to skip. So like
She's the worst
like
character.
that's how bad it was for me too. So
I'll give you an example of the John Wick aspect. There's a scene where when the episode where the volcano erupts,
mm-hmm.
where they're the one of the people who were living in that village ask, "Who's that?" And they point to Galadriel, and that elf answers, "That's the commander of the elven armies or whatever it is." There's a scene where an orc throws a spear at her back, and she, on galloping on horse, leans off the horse. It's coming at her back. Leans off the horse. She can hear it coming and dodges it. Are you? And I get that they're like supposed to be superhuman, but I mean, the orc was like 60 yards, and she looking not at it, away.
Rearview mirror.
Yeah, it's like, are you serious? Dumb. It's so dumb. And then the only
I did like, so speaking to that, Aaron Deer or Aaron,
which
who's one? The black guy that is with him. He's like, it's almost like a fourth story. He's the one that was dating the human.
Oh, he's the elf. Or I can't remember his name. Yeah, he was the one I was just. Yeah, he's the one who points out Galadriel
when they're shooting the arrows, and he catches one and then
throws
it. I thought that was pretty cool.
It was cool.
I thought that was pretty.
There's a lot of there's beautiful shots, great CGI. The fight choreography is really just okay in some instances. Some instances it's really good. Some it's not.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a problem with people online. This show, no. This show is deserving of criticism. It really is. And Galadriel needs to be better written. But I watched 3 episodes of this show. This is a couple weeks ago. First 3 episodes. And then I stopped watching it just because I didn't find the time. But I kept up to date on it with like news and like YouTube videos and whatnot. And people were just review bombing the shit out of this. They said, this is the worst thing that's ever been made. It is terrible. It is, I mean, J.R. Tolkien is rolling in his grave. And I was like, and they'd go over recaps of why it's the worst ever. And I was like, oh man, that sucks. But then I went in and watched it and I'm like, okay, it's not as bad as you guys describe. I don't understand. It's deserving of criticism, but good God, it's not that bad. I think people just want to hate on it.
Holy crap, you weren't kidding. It's a 3.2.
What?
Out of 5 stars.
Yeah.
On I'm looking up some of the reviews here. They filter.
Yeah, it's bananas. It's deserving of criticism, but I'm rooting for it. I hope it succeeds.
Oh my God. Like who I'm scrolling to read one comment on a 1-star review. Like who takes this much time? He wrote a novel just writing the comment.
Yeah,
how many characters is this? Hold
on. It's not a tweet.
605 words. 605 words.
Yeah, and
I required less words in my college discussion posts.
But my problem is that those people who do those reviews, because they care very much about it, they won't have a single good thing to say about it. It's like it's never as good as the book. The same people who did this thing, they did that for I Am Legend, Holes, the Harry Potter series, Mockingbird.
God. Listen to this. I'm sorry. Hold on just a second. Yes, sweetheart. I don't have a pocket knife.
I could blow my nose.
There's a razor blade knife in my work toolbox in the garage.
That's where I looked in and see one this weekend.
Oh, it should be there. If you check the cobalt bag, there should be another one in there. We have like 2 or 3. What are you using it for?
They painted over that shit.
Oh. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
What was I doing? Oh, listen to this. So this is one of the 1-star reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this is continuing on, so that he or she writes a bunch of stuff. Also, this version of Galadriel has to be the most insufferable, one-dimensional, entitled, outright nasty, and painfully corny character to have ever been created for TV since the beginning of the streaming era.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
I agree. She's terrible. But, man, people who go on those rants about how much they hate this and it needs to die don't. I mean, there's some good aspects of the show.
Game of Thrones first season.
There was huge criticisms.
Yeah.
Give it a chance. I mean, I'm willing to give it a chance. Hell, it kept me engaged enough to watch the whole show.
Yeah, same.
I will not say the same about the Wheel of Time. I have problems with the Amazon's Wheel of Time.
I haven't. I tried. I got in 30 minutes, and I just.
It's bad, and it really annoys me because I've read them, and my God, it's bad. You want to talk about bad? And those it didn't get the review bombs that Lord of the Rings did, but it's well deserving of it. Man, it's bad. I hope they do better.
So I'm looking at the 3 and 4 star reviews because I feel like that's probably the most median. Like, it's going to be bad but good too. Hold on a second. Okay. I'm going to screenshot this one. Hold on. Where are you? Here.
Are you sending it in the chat?
This. Yeah. Just give that one a read.
Okay. This made me want to reheat the butter chicken I had last night. The rice was good. Okay, I'm not going to read this out loud, but no.
You don't have to read it all, but it's just. Oh gosh.
Wow. Okay. An interesting review. Interesting.
So last week we talked about
AI and a couple other things.
Budget versus revenue for scary movies.
Yep.
So I forget what the budget for this was. It was like $950 million
for 5 seasons. 5 seasons.
Yeah. Like, what revenue are they pulling in?
Amazon Prime subscriptions and advertising.
So
I know that Amazon put out a statement before the show came out that if the show doesn't the success of the Rings of Power would determine the massive giant streaming future. That was an article written. I don't know if they quoted somebody from Amazon or if that was Amazon themselves. I don't remember where I heard that from or read that from, actually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they're all in on this, man. And I think people kind of hate bomb it as well just because it's Amazon. They're like, to hell with you, Amazon. My package was late.
Yeah, because they're doing 8 seasons of this, right?
5.
5 seasons?
I heard it was 5. $1 billion for 5 seasons.
I suppose if Jeff Bezos is a Tolkien fan.
I think he's a money fan.
Well, obviously.
I don't know, but I don't know. Game of Thrones.
You don't throw $1 billion.
Game of Thrones' success has caused several people to try and get in on the fantasy genre. Amazon in particular picked up 2 series that they paid a ton of money for the rights for. Wheel of Time and Lord of the Rings. Wheel of Time really sucked. God, the first season sucked in my opinion. Lord of the Rings was better. The Rings of Power, as they're calling it.
Yeah.
You just thinking about the money.
Works out for him. Yeah, I hope it works out for him.
I do too. I think it's
big investment.
I love Lord of the Rings, so I'm rooting for its success because I hope it's good because I get to watch it.
So it's specifically affecting Prime memberships. So
Is it?
so yeah, how many? How many? I don't know even if Amazon releases how many Prime memberships does Amazon have? Okay, so they have 200 million.
They have 200 million Prime memberships?
Globally, yeah.
God, that's a lot of money. What's a Prime membership cost?
It depends on if you do it annually or monthly. If you do it monthly, it's like 16, $17, and annually, like a little bit, like 100 and change.
Okay, we pay for annually, and I don't pay it. It just comes out once a year.
Yeah. So I mean, if it bombs, like they raise Amazon Prime $1,
Yeah.
for all. I mean, let's see, not even that for all of its members, and they take the revenue that they have and even it out after so many years, and then
eat the losses and move on.
Yeah, exactly. And then when it's
they're not going to go bankrupt if it fails.
No.
God, I know a lot of people want them to. Yeah, take that, Amazon.
So the what was the Sauron's character?
Halbrand.
But is it Halbrand?
Yeah, Halbrand.
Halbrand. So I knew he was Sauron as soon as he started working on the ring.
I knew.
Did you know earlier?
Like the first or second episode.
How?
He had
It took me until they didn't start doing the rings, and he's like doing some Jeffrey Dahmer shit, like the ring.
He had a very almost dark past about him, and there were several hints throughout the show. For instance, remember in the episode where the volcano erupts, he tried to kill. I can't remember the elf's name, but that was leading the orcs. And he said, he said that he had wronged him in the past, and that's why he wanted to kill him. But he never explained why. But earlier in the episode, that same elf that he was trying to kill said that he killed Sauron. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Also, when he was in Numenor, we got the aspect of him fighting all those guys in the alley, and he just viciously beat them. Like, it was the most gruesome scene up to that point in the whole show. Even though we had Galadriel fighting in several fights and whatnot, because she's John Wick. He's breaking arms of people. He was very manipulative, and like, what I read was that there was a lot of cliches in this show about, representing the world.
Gandalf wrong, by the way. It's Daniel Wayman. Sorry, I wanted to correct myself. I was just looking up the actors.
So we got those mixed up.
Yeah. But Joseph Mall was Orin, but Daniel Wayman was the stranger.
Gotcha. But that's it.
Sorry, go on.
No, that's it. I read that also. This one really bugged me because it made sense to me. Is that it was actually by a YouTuber, the Critical Drinker. He reviews TV shows and movies and things like that. Mm-hmm. He said one of his criticisms of the show, which he had many, was that it's a lot of feminist propaganda, and this is his he had a reasoning for this. He said every man in that show, white man, is manipulative, out for his own reasoning, or out for himself in some way, and tries to take advantage of others, typically. Or they fit into these two categories. They're either that, or they're submissive, blind, they make mistakes, they don't trust women, blah, blah, blah. However, there's one character that doesn't fit into these two categories, and that's Halbrand. He's the only person that would come up as heroic, capable of fighting, knowledgeable, and helpful to our main character, which is Galadriel. However, we're going to get a twist in there that he's actually the villain, Sauron. That was his criticism, is that all the men in this show fit into mean, manipulative jerks.
And the one nice guy is the most evil.
Or blind, submissive, simps.
Yeah.
The one nice guy that shows heroic capabilities and is capable of doing things is Sauron.
That's interesting.
That was his. He had several complaints, but that was one of them, and I thought that kind of stuck out to me. It still sticks with me.
Huh. That's fair.
Yeah.
Gosh. I'm excited for the next season.
Me too. I hope so.
I'm sure they'll learn from their mistakes and do better.
Yeah. Did you come up, speaking of which, so before we switch, did you come up with a list of topics or anything like that?
I had a few things.
Okay.
Do you watch Netflix a lot?
I watched Netflix.
Or do you have?
I watched Netflix the other night. I do have a subscription.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what you pay for your subscription?
No, because we get ours through a family member. And
okay.
We've offered, I swear on my life, we've offered to pay for it because I have the 4K TV now. I want the 4K subscription, but we don't pay for it, so whatever.
So I pay for the 4K subscription. It's $20 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So they recently added a new subscription base. I don't know if you heard about this.
Yeah,
but it's
something about
Netflix with ads.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And so I looked up the price. It's $6.99. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so I was like, I haven't looked up the base prices for a while, so I looked them up. So, what would you pay to not have ads?
Well, 10 years ago, I would have paid $6.99 because that's what it was 10 years ago or something like that.
Right.
But nowadays, I really don't like ads. I'd pay the $15 or $20.
Okay, so the basic without ads is $10.
Mm-hmm.
You can have it on one device. Yeah.
No ads, $10.
But for me, it's like if they're going to add ads, for me, I feel like there shouldn't be a subscription cost at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be ads.
Yeah, I agree.
Not $7.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the small, medium, large. I don't know what the actual economic or sales theory is, but it's like where you charge $3.99 for a small, and then you charge $6.99 for a medium, and then like $7.99 for a large. So like you look at it and you say, "Oh, well, I could get a large for $1 more." Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I don't know. I really don't believe in paying for something where there's ads. Like, I get annoyed with YouTube that I pay for their subscription to not have ads, and yet I still get fucking ads. And it's because advertisers pay YouTubers to advertise in their own videos. Like, not before the video, in their own video. And it's like, you assholes.
So I found another chart. I figured this could be a reoccurring thing for us.
Okay.
Because I love data. I follow a lot of data things on Reddit. So this is the history of the Netflix price over time. And so it breaks it out, into the tiers. I don't think this includes and this is kind of old, so this is 2019. But it doesn't include the most recent. But I just thought this was kind of interesting.
Well,
and the basic plan has kind of stayed the same, except for recent years where it's jumped. But they've added these new tiers, and it just seems like every streaming service is trying to add different layers to increase different revenues. So, like with Apple, there's Apple TV, Apple TV Plus. Hulu's got like the basic option with like they've always had commercials with options before, but then you can buy the ones without the commercials and HD and 4K and all that other stuff. But
I think there's a multitude of factors for those price increases. One is, well, hey, we'd like to get some more money.
Mm-hmm.
Two is it's the economy, stupid. Inflation's a bitch. And three is there's a lot of competition out there, and they're charging big prices for things. So why can't we do it? You know, HBO Max right out the gate is what, $15 a month.
And they just, I think they just bought out Cartoon Network.
Yeah, and there's a lot of competition. So people who spend their money on this streaming services get these options, but people who spend their money on these streaming services get these options. So for like, let's use HBO for an example. They just acquired, what'd you say, Cartoon Network? That cost. I think so. That cost a lot of money.
It was Warner Brothers. Does Warner Brothers own HBO?
I don't know. Warner Brothers own HBO. I'd have to Google that one. Or DuckDuckGo.
Yep, Warner Brothers. Yep.
They do? Okay.
So Warner Brothers bought Cartoon Network.
Okay.
And then now it's included in their HBO subscription.
Good to know. Might have to watch old Dexter's Laboratory or Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yes, isn't Dexter's Laboratory just like a plot for incest?
I have no idea. Do you know how long it's been since I've seen Dexter's Laboratory? I don't even remember.
I'll leave that for a different time.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of memes with him and his sister, and it's just really dark. But anyway, yeah, but I would love to see the cost of cable, like old cable, compared to today. You know, the whole reason we switched was to get away from cable originally. It wasn't really for the content, at least my perception. It wasn't for the content, but it was more for everybody hated paying the big cable bills.
However, you're still paying the big cable bills via internet rather than just television.
Right. Well, wasn't internet like 30 or $40 for good, decent internet, and now it's like I'm clocking like 70, 80.
It depends. We pay. What do we pay? $60 or $70 a month for 400 megabytes per second. And that's, I mean, for me, that's the best internet I've ever had, period. Nothing even compares. Because it also kind of depended on your childhood growing up. Like, you and I both grew out in the country where, good luck with fucking satellite internet. That thing sucks.
Well, now satellites.
It's not
pretty good.
It's getting better. It's not 100% there. Starlink's only good because, from what I've heard, is there's so few users. But as it grows, it's going to throttle it.
With latency. That's 43 milliseconds for Starlink.
But
10 milliseconds for fixed broadband.
I have heard that more people who get on there will hurt the speed of that. I don't know how true that is, but
that's fair.
It makes sense to me. Did you? Speaking of which, not to get off topic, did you see that Elon shut off Starlink for Ukraine? Because they were using Starlink to, a lot of GPS and those missiles, surface-to-air missiles, they need internet access. They told him to go, go fuck himself.
So I've seen headlines. I haven't read into it, so I'm not gonna say anything on that one because I know that I saw that there was one headline that he was going to get possibly, or they were wanting to possibly investigate him for like treason.
Yeah, what are they going to do? It's his product that he owns. He can do what he wants with it.
Well, because
we are not at war. We are not at war. We are not at war. We have to be
Well,
at war with a fork. No.
He's he's a shut up.
I'm kidding. Go ahead.
He's a vendor for NASA. Okay. So the things that he has done or is doing, he has control of and is facilitating products and equipment and services for the United States. So when you're talking to um, uh, another foreign leader that is at war, that we are not a part of, that can incite warlike, I don't know, mentality,
Retaliation.
I could understand. Yeah, I could understand that from that domino effect of like.
True, but he didn't do it in Russia's favor, or he did do it in Russia's favor. He shut it off for Ukraine because Ukrainians were using it.
Right.
Right. He was suing. What's the word? Suing for peace. Even though it wasn't the best idea, at least I think it's better than going to war over it. But
yeah,
I don't know.
I'm indifferent about it. I just think people will get political about it. And
I think Warhawks are going to be Warhawks.
Yeah. Gosh.
Speaking of which, did you see Elon Musk started selling perfume?
No. What?
Yeah. Look up if you're on a computer. Look up Elon Musk's new perfume.
What? Elon Musk is now selling perfume that smells like burning hair.
It's called Singed. So, he changed his. I don't have Twitter, but I heard this.
I haven't seen this.
He changed his profile on Twitter. You know how they put the little caption of who you are underneath you, like his face here or something like that. He put perfume salesman now as an addition to it.
Oh my god!
And he made a post a couple of days ago. It said, "Please buy my perfume so I can buy Twitter." I thought that was really funny. We can't always talk about Elon Musk. We talked about him last week.
I know. Well, he does a lot of crazy shit.
Yeah. You gonna buy some of his perfume, though?
I'm seeing how much he sold already.
Oh. I heard it was quite a bit. I also heard it was expensive.
He's claimed he sold 20,000 bottles.
I think he said he made like $1 million off of what he sold.
And I'm trying to see how much he sold it for.
I want to say it wasn't cheap.
Oh, he sold them for $100, so he's made like $2 million.
Yeah. Okay. So he's made a lot.
If his claims are true.
Yeah.
Gosh.
That's fucking bonkers. Burnt hair. That's funny. Oh man.
I can't stay as long today, so I'm gonna have to wrap it up here.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. No worries. It's at 4. It is 4.
Yeah.
It's past 4.
Yeah, that's what I'd wrap it up now.
Okay.
That's what I was meaning.
Okay.
But,
well, shall we talk about, before we go, our next D&D session?
Yeah. So that's going to be on the 23rd, right? And
which is
who's all? Yeah, it's a Sunday. Who's all RSVP'd so far? So we got.
Everybody should be in attendance.
Everybody said, yeah, they're going to be there.
I have not heard a single no. I'll say that.
Okay. All right.
I know you.
Sounds good. I'm going to be ready.
Are you okay with a long session?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Figure out some food or something to do, but
yeah, I'll probably either grab something or bring a crock pot or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. But I'm looking forward to October 23rd. And I get to use my new board out that we haven't used yet that I made.
Yes.
It even spins. Let me get out of the way. There it is. It spins.
Oh gosh.
Either way,
yeah, I'm excited for that. Gosh, I thought there was something else I was going to tell you. I don't know. I'll save it for next week.
Yeah, next week, and I'll come up with some topics this week so we have more to talk about other than Elon Musk because that keeps coming up.
That's fair.
All right.
All right. Well, I'll leave you be then.
Yeah.
I'll catch you later.
Later.